Am I upside down or am I the right way up? Patema Inverted asks these life questions. Nope, you are definitely upside down. This Hanabee limited edition release of Patema Inverted is exceptional in that it plays to the themes and aesthetic of the show. With the box showing the characters from two perspectives, it drives home the ideals at play. Then, along with the simple design of the case, we get an art book. For me, art books make limited editions instantly valuable. Character design, screens, sketches, and even an interview with the director makes this a great set. Patema Inverted, or Sakasama no Patema, is a fantasy film written and directed by Yasuhiro Yoshiura. It was animated by Purple Cow Studios Japan, known for their work on Yokozuna Quartet's OVA, Hoshi no Umi, alongside Tatsunoko Productions. Patema Inverted is their first work as a single production company. Living in Australia, there is always this constant fear of falling into the sky. We occasionally look down into the blue abyss and think to ourselves, I wish orbital gravity existed. With that said, Patema Inverted introduces us to a world of subjective gravity within this 120-minute fantasy story of fear and trust. Following our two cover characters, Patema and Eiji, this world opens up as they strive to explore the mysteries of the inverts, just like their relatives did before them. This involves crushing the current regime of the Eigons, coming together when tensions are highest, and most importantly, trusting in those you care about and never letting go. The way these character connections are displayed is absolutely brilliant, and the cinematography constantly flips the camera upside down, showing the world from these two very different perspectives. We see the world of the Iron Fist, ruled by our antagonist Izumura, and we see the world of the underground people who only care about the survival of humanity overall. By switching between these worlds and showing them both from an inverted outsider perspective, it really drives home its idea of a fish out of water, and it's then up to our cast to find their common ground. Well, maybe not ground since they're upside down and all, but you get the point. However, it's the cast that I strike issue with in the first place. Sure, the journey puts them all in a defined place, and the actions they perform in order to get to the end goal of revelation all works to make for a compelling narrative. But when it comes to character motives, there's very little depth, and they rarely feel human. Eiji wants to travel the skies like his father once did. Patema wants to discover more about the world like her older brother once did. It's just incredibly impersonal, and it lacks a human factor that might say, hey, we've got this story about two people following their family's dreams, but how about we give them some personal motivations as well? If I haven't made it abundantly clear yet, how the hell is this not a romance? The building blocks are set, the messages of trust and overcoming differences are there already. We even get some alluding scenes throughout. Just the simple addition of the romance genre would have provided a motivation that offers some sense of personality, and an upside down kiss scene would have pretty much just broke Tumblr. It's a subplot that would have been unintrusive, already set up, and made a lot more impact than, hey, we're just really good friends now. Although that's a more minor character flaw in comparison to our real problem. Our very own Adolf Hitler, Izumura. Believing all inverts to be sinners swallowed by the sky, he rules over the Eigons, whom he believes to be the purest and true race. Why? What led to this character motivation? No fucking clue. There's loose plot motivations explaining why the race itself might dislike the inverts, but in terms of Izumura himself, there's nothing. He's just bad guy who we need to thwart, and offers no real reason for the audience to be interested in him at all. Thankfully, the story constantly takes us away from him and into these beautiful skies and steampunk underground. Patema Inverted is almost an adventure series with the amount of world exploration that goes on within this 120-minute time frame. Whether it's the highest or the lowest point, Patema and AG have accidentally stumbled across it and discovered its secrets. We have world building on an epic scale that exceeds the sky of time and creates intrigue within the film's backstory. Although, maybe there's too much intrigue. Now you might say I'm nitpicking, but there genuinely is such a thing as creating too much depth within a world. Simple is often best, and Patema Inverted has thrown in a simple concept with a complex world and hoped that it would blend. When I come out of the film wanting to know more about the world they're in, rather than what happens next to the characters, in this case, it is somewhat disappointing. And with the majority of the world building taking place within the last act, it can definitely appear to be overcomplicated and in some places genuinely unnecessary. But putting my qualms about this world and narrative concepts aside, it looks so goddamn good. Each new part of this world has a different design to it that ties in with the ideals at hand, and some narrative connections are foreshadowed just by the general design of things. You see something that looks steampunk-esque? Yeah, that was made by the Inverts. Something blank, formal and strict? That's Eigen. It's a consistent style that's brought into various aspects of the film, including the character designs, clothing and expressions. If you want to show your friends how cool anime can really look, this is the most efficient way of doing so. The animation involved within the visual cues for subjective gravity and how the environment and characters are affected by this instantly makes for something that you have probably never seen before. Patema Inverted is a great film. It tells its story and creates a message that ties in with its world amazingly. It's a unique story that is expressed especially well within the anime medium, and Yoshiura has done well to develop something that we want to see more of. However, when it comes to some of his plot devices and characters, it can make for something disconcerting and lead to a conclusion that takes away from the character relationships in order to tell a cool story about people being upside down. Patema Inverted is available as a standard DVD release or the limited edition Blu-ray showcased on this channel from Hanabee Entertainment. Thanks for watching the Canipa Effect. Next week's review is Kill la Kill.